is late. You might not even be able to hear me. There we go. Now everybody can hear me. O'Neill's late. He's always late. I don't know why I book him for these shows. He knows I'm sick. And here we are that he says he's going to carry the show and he doesn't even show up for the show. This is what I got to deal with, guys. This is what happens when Joseph is off and he's watching Bob Lashley against Big E in a Brighton street fight, which sure that's going well, right? Sure that's going great. Why do we pay? Yeah, fuck Bob O'Neill. I agree. I don't know why we pay him. I don't know what his purpose is. Like, he just like tweets. He tweets, and for some reason people enjoy him. We've gotten him over, but this is what he does. He didn't even have to do a corner 3 tomorrow. Now he's finally here. Jesus. Neil, God, why are you late? You do 1 show, 2 shows a week now on this thing. You don't have to do the corner 3 tomorrow, and you're showing up late.
That's true. I'm sorry. I should have more respect for the channel.
Yeah, Joseph is off, and this is what I got to deal with. You say you're going to carry the show, and then you're not here on time.
I'm concerned that you're sick now.
You got me sick. Doing the show with you yesterday got me sick. You sound a lot better. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad you sound
I'm feeling better today, so that's good.
That's good. All right, everybody. As JJ kind of mentioned on Twitter, we're doing sort of a throwback episode as we are going to review 12 Rounds 3, starring the former Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. This was a decision made before we found out that Moxley was going into an inpatient rehab program. And so it was made before all that. It was made largely due to Moxley's book coming out yesterday, and Moxley was supposed to be wrestling Orange Cassidy on Dynamite tonight. So we made the decision to move forward with the movie review because, as we'll discuss here in a second, this decision is a brave decision by Moxley. It's not a tragedy in any sense. When I read the news, I was surprised because it was kind of out of nowhere at 11:30 on a Tuesday night. But as I said, it is a brave decision by him because, like, he's in the run. I won't say he's in the run of his career right now because he was the world champion last year.
Yeah.
But he was going to wrestle Orange Cassidy tonight. Seemed likely he was going to win. He was going to wrestle Danielson at Full Gear. He's said publicly he thinks Danielson is the best of all time. Going against him in this environment, they've wrestled in like multi-man matches plenty of times, and I think they've had a singles match or 2 at WWE. But without the chains, the WWE shackles on them in AEW, they would have been going all out at Full Gear. So I'm sure he was looking forward to that. Seemed likely he was going to win that as well and get a shot at Hangman. I think the story they were telling was he goes and faces Hangman at Winter's Coming in December, the anniversary of him losing the title last year. So for him to realize that the addiction has gotten the best of him at this time, check himself into inpatient and step away during this run, takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of strength. I applaud him. I hope he does get the help he needs. I'm sure AEW is giving him plenty of backing with everything. I hope the best for Renee. It's not going to be easy for her. She is now, they just had a kid, and Moxley was already on the road and everything, and now Renee is going to have even more responsibility with the child as Moxley gets help. So best wishes to Moxley as he gets help. Best wishes to Renee as she navigates this situation. I'm glad they have each other because this is a tough thing to deal with, and it is good to have a partner who is understanding and caring and appreciative during these times. O'Neill, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the bravest things you can do as a person is admit you need help, really, with anything, especially for something this magnitude. And for it to be at this time where, professionally things are going very well for him, but to step back and realize, hey, I need to take care of myself, big picture. It's incredibly brave, and I think it also shows a lot like how far the industry's come too, because, there's not a ton of times in the history of wrestling where, a top guy would have stepped away. Usually they just would keep going, and it's good to see that he's doing it, he's getting help, and nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, and that's true. We've heard stories over the years, especially in the 90s, of guys that had issues, and instead of taking care of those issues, they just kept going with things. And now the business has changed, as I famously said on like the second distraction show ever that Joseph still gives me shit for. But it really has, of guys stepping away to take care of this, because it's not easy. I'm sure it was a tough decision, but it does take a lot of strength from both Moxley and Renee to realize this is the decision they need to make. And kudos to AEW for giving. I don't think it would look terrible if they were like, hey, no, you're in the middle of this run, you can't do this. Would not be a good look for them. I'm sure they're giving him, based on what we know of how they've handled things with in the past, especially the Brody situation. I'm sure they are giving him plenty of support, and Renee plenty of support through this whole thing. So hopefully Mox gets the help he needs. He comes back even better, and I'm looking forward to when he eventually does return. But people are gonna wish Moxley well, as they should. I'm wishing Renee well too, because it's going to be tough for her with dealing with everything. And again, I think Renee has a lot of strength, and I admire her a lot during this situation, because JJ mentioned in the chat they were in the middle of moving. They were moving from Vegas to Cincinnati in the coming weeks. So you cap on a move with a kid that was just born. With this now, Renee, of course, is doing her 5 million shows that she does. It's not going to be easy for her. She incredible strength by her as well. So just best wishes to Moxley, Renee, and the whole family. All right, O'Neill, 12 rounds 3. You messaged me and you said this isn't that bad. I guess you were expecting worse. I don't know. Like, what were your expectations going into this?
Yeah, I mean, the WWE Studios movies kind of all have this stigma where they're just not very good. They're just thrown together to kind of get, whatever wrestler they want to put in there, get them out there. And I mean, this one was good though. Like, the writing kind of fell apart towards the end, but overall, I mean, if you're in a situation where like, hey, I have 90 minutes, I'm going to watch a movie, like, it's available for free on most sites. I think I'm watching on Vudu or whatever. And I mean, it's entertaining enough. I think Mox does a good enough job in the lead role, and they have like actual actors. They have the one like main bad guy's the guy from 24, so it's like they have people who have been in other stuff. It's not just a bunch of like thrown together parts. And I mean, the action's good too. Like, it kind of has like Die Hard vibes. It's not as good as Die Hard, but it's basically like, if you did Die Hard like in the confines of a police station, which, I don't know, it worked for me, man. Like, I enjoyed it.
Please, when they promote 12 rounds 3, the 10th anniversary of this thing, you know how they do like reviews, they tag reviews in the trailer and stuff. I want the review tag almost like Die Hard, not quite as good as Die Hard. Bob O'Neill, the distraction. That's what I want. Have you seen the first 12 rounds?
I think I've seen the first one. Like, that's the one with Cena, right?
Yeah, the first one's with Cena. The second one is with Randy Orton.
Yeah, it's a lot different than the first one.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I've seen the first one. I watched that when it first came out because still am a fan of John Cena. And so I watched that one. He did that other movie, The Marine, was the movie he did. Mm-hmm. He did that, and I thought like that was fine and everything. And then I watched, Joseph and I actually reviewed the second one with Randy Orton for when we were doing the review gimmick. Those are very similar in that like it's basically like 12 stages of hell is what they have to go through. This is different in that like it's not like 12 little quote unquote mini games that they have to play. Moxley has 12 rounds of ammo and he is going through that to kill everybody. I did appreciate that they at least mixed it up with this one, because the Orton one was very similar to the Cena one, where it was just very much, hey, you got to go through these 12 stages and then, cap it off at the end. So I did like that. I thought Moxley was good in the lead role. And here's the thing about WWE films. Like, most of them are like inoffensive. They're not terrible or anything. They're just like inoffensive and like you said, like 90-minute like little popcorn flicks that you can kill some time easily. And they do get actual actors for this stuff.
Yeah.
People think it's just like, oh, it's just WWE guys. Like, for the most part, they get like other actual actors for these shows. I thought it was inoffensive. I thought Moxley did a good job as the lead. I thought the ending sucked. That was my big issue, is like they did the big swerve at the end, but then it of course still worked out, and there was no time for the swerve to like sink in or anything. It's like swerve and then movie over like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, that's really the thing. Like, they relied on swerves, I think, a little too much for a 90-minute movie. There's like 3 or 4 pretty big ones. You could probably change that up a little bit, but a lot of the like parts where he kills the guys are creative. Like, he electrocutes the guy by putting the door handle, like a Home Alone sort of thing. He pulls the one guy's pin out of his grenade, and the guy blows up.
One rules. That was my favorite one, where the dude just explodes. That was fucking awesome. That was great. Loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it always is in these movies, where like, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit because they're shooting at him like 50 times and he doesn't get hit. And he gets hit a couple times, but like overall, he doesn't really get hit all that much. But I mean, it was good. It was inoffensive. That's the time today. I'm glad we picked it. And like I said, if you make a movie under 2 hours, you're already winning.
Any 90-minute movie is great by me. I think all movies should be 90 minutes, just like I think all wrestling matches should be 17 minutes or less. I don't need these long wrestling matches. I don't need these long movies. That's why, like, when we talked about doing Fast 9, and then it was 2.5 hours. And I look, John Cena's part of it. I know he plays a heel and everything. He's a big part of it. It's not just he's a big part of it. It's not, hey, he has a cameo or whatever. But I was like, I don't feel like sitting through a 2.5 hour Fast.
No, and I mean, there's also like parts of that movie where it drags. Like, a movie like that probably shouldn't drag.
Yeah. I love the Fast and Furious franchise. I say that, and of course, I have not watched Fast 9 yet because I barely watch movies or television nowadays. But I was like, I just don't feel like sitting through a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Let's just go 90 minutes. And we picked it because we thought Moxley was wrestling tonight, and his book just came out. So that was the reason for picking this. I think it was a good pivot because it was 90 minutes. It went by really fast. Like, it kind of flew by. There's no real, especially, you get past the initial stuff and it's like, oh, he did something. He's returning to the office and everything. Yeah, he's a little messed up because of him screwing up with his shooting and whatnot. But it gets established that early it's a dirty cop. Once you get past that kind of initial thing, not Moxley. Moxley's not the dirty cop. The other gentleman, Burke, I believe is his name.
Yes.
It's established immediately that he's a dirty cop. That's like the opening scene. Like, once you get past that and Moxley starts to get on the case where, okay, this guy is actually a dirty cop, it starts picking up where he's going through the precinct and just kind of murdering everybody, which is great. That's what we need. We need people just killing people. It's just a nice little shoot 'em up popcorn flick. Like you said, that there's everyone shoots at everybody and they miss and everything. That's literally every single action movie. Like, I don't know if there's an action movie out there that these trained professional killers for some reason just can't shoot. You just can't shoot people. Like, even if they've got like machine guns or automatic guns or something, just fire them off. It's like, you can't hit anything for some reason, even though you are a trained gunsman here. It's every single action movie.
Yeah, no, but and like, I don't know. I think it helps it like breeze along that pretty much 95% of it either takes place in the police station or like right outside of it. We don't have to do a bunch of like scene changes and all that. It's basically like the same 7 or 8 characters the whole time too. There's not like a ton of differentiation.
That was the other good thing is like it's not watered down with a bunch of characters. They don't go like elsewhere. There's no real secondary storyline. Like the
No.
Orton films had the Orton 12 rounds had a couple secondary storylines. And the Cena one, kind of like same thing. There's like the love interest and everything. Mox ain't got no love interest. There's none of that stuff. It's just like, it's very straightforward of what they're trying to do here. And I think that's why they threw in all the swerves, because it was almost like too straightforward. Is it was just like, oh, he finds out he's a dirty cop and now he's just trying to arrest him, capture him, kill him, whatever he wants to do. And they're like, all right, this is a little too basic. Let's throw in a swerve or two.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like they were gonna do a love interest with that new officer, and then that didn't happen, and they just kept going. So no, I liked it. I think it was good.
They didn't need to do the love interest. Were you surprised by the swerve at the end with Burke turning on Shaw? Or not Burke, sorry. The female.
Yeah, the captain.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but like you said, it didn't really have time to set in. So I think maybe if you gave it a little more time, I would have probably been more surprised or appreciated a little more. But yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like they rushed to the ending where they could have maybe cut out some of the fighting stuff and just given more time to the ending.
Matthews was her name.
Yes,
Captain Matthews. Yeah, that was very rushed. I was a little surprised by it, but like I said, the fact that they didn't really let it set in, it was like, okay, it didn't seem all that meaningful. I didn't think they were gonna throw on like the swerve at the end. You mentioned that the guy from 24. That was a very 24 vibe. Have you watched 24, O'Neill?
Not start to finish. I've seen some of it.
I was a big 24 fan. I've seen every season. It's been forever because I watched them all as they aired. So the first season had, sorry, spoiler alert, if you've not watched a show from 20 years ago, the first season had the big swerve where Jack's teammate, partner, whatever, has a big turn after helping him throughout the entire time, pretty much like this. But they let it sink in a little bit more. So I got big vibes from that. And then the problem with 24 is they kept doing the same swerve every season after. So it lost a lot of luster. By the time you do it, the fifth time, it's like, okay, we get it. You're going to keep doing the same swerve. But, you mentioned the guy from 24. That's kind of how this was, is his partner, the captain, kind of turned on him. It would have been better if, they cut out a little bit somewhere, just cut out one of the bad guys getting killed, or just do it sooner, do it quicker. Don't have such a long fight scene and do the swerve. So yeah, Teal Noel says Nina Myers. That was a great season. First season of 24 is peak, good peak television right there. They could have let that breathe a little bit more. Overall, if you've got 90 minutes to kill, you just want something on in the background, whatever it might be, you can kind of check in and out with it. 12 rounds 3 gets a thumbs up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I found it very entertaining.
So another reason we picked this movie, at least I picked it, is this is Tony Khan's favorite movie. Joey Janela tells this story. I'm going to pull it up. This is, I transcribed this in October 2019. So 2 years ago now. And so Janela says he was at the club with Tony Khan and Darby Allin, and he goes back to Tony Khan's house in Los Angeles, and he says, as soon as we turn on the TV, the first thing on TV is 12 Rounds 3, starring Jon Moxley. Tony paused the movie to go to the bathroom. As soon as he paused it, I called an Uber and said, I can't deal with this. 5 minutes before the end of the movie. So Janela missed the swerve. He just missed it. So 5 minutes before the end of the movie, Tony apparently comes out and goes, not going to watch the end of the movie. So this movie is just playing, I assume, just 24/7 on Tony Khan's television. If you go over to Tony Khan's house, he just turns on the TV and 12 Rounds is just playing as a 24/7 stream. And Janela it couldn't make the end of the movie. So it's Tony Khan's favorite movie, and Joey Janela is a coward who did not watch the final 5 minutes of this movie.
Wow. That no, he missed the swerve, man. It's terrible.
You have heat with Janela, right, O'Neill? You guys, where are you standing with Joseph Janela?
I think we're fine now. I like to think I'm fine with everyone now, so
What a turn by you that you're fine with Janela. I think you still got some heat with some people.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I mean, some people you probably want heat with because why do you want those people to be on your
Exactly.
side? Yeah, I get it. Demon Grant says TK probably has a different TV for each movie he likes. That's probably true. Yeah, I don't get it, JJ. You do 85 minutes and can't do the last 5. He was just out. Why is Tony Khan going to the bathroom in the final 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's
what
the
I
other
want to
thing.
know.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. You got to finish the movie.
Yeah, just wait, hold it for the next 5 minutes. I mean, I've assumed Tony Khan has watched it a million times, but I also like that he decided to pause the movie to go to the bathroom, even though, again, he's probably seen it a million times. He's like, no, I cannot miss this swerve. Like, you do not want to miss this. I got to pause it and go to the bathroom.
Yes.
He says TK buys the rights to 12 rounds 3 instead of the ROH tape library. O'Neill, what do you call TK? Do you have a nickname for him?
No, I don't.
It's kind of tough. Tony Khan? Like,
yeah.
How do you do that?
Like, what am I going to call him? Phony Khan? But that's like, okay, he's good at what he does. So it's like,
I don't know if phony con works. That doesn't like stick with your O'Neill is frozen. Tremendous. That doesn't stick with your usual gimmick of where you kind of just do the opposite of good and bad, and whatever else you do. O'Neill, can you say something? No, O'Neill. There you go. Reese has it. More like Tony can't. There you go. O'Neill is frozen. Tremendous. He says he's going to carry this show. He shows up late, and then he freezes. What are we doing? O'Neill, log out and log back in if you could still hear me. There he is.
Oh, man.
You say you're going to carry this show, O'Neill. You show up late, and then your stream sucks.
Yeah, this is going great, huh?
I gotta cut it early so you can watch the Bulls and the Sixers.
I mean, that's going to be good, though.
I think it will be. Bulls, I told you, they won the title in my 2K simulation. Well on their way right now.
They're good, man. I can't believe how good they've been so
far.
Are
you like, you're 100% in?
Yeah. Well, I thought, I'm like, they could probably avoid the play-in tournament, but now I'm like, maybe they could get the 4th seed. I don't think they're going to be better than, Milwaukee or one of Philadelphia and Brooklyn, and then Miami looks good so far. But, I think they can be better than one of those 4.
It's possible. Milwaukee's off to a slow start, but I imagine they'll turn it around. Miami looks very good. And Brooklyn, they're kind of up and down right now, but I think they'll kind of turn it around. The Sixers are the one I'm sort of worried about. Like they're off to a good start, but I don't know if Simmons coming back is going to hurt them. I don't know when Simmons is going to come back, if they can sustain this without him. I saw Tobias Harris is in COVID protocol, so they're going to miss him now. What they get for Ben Simmons will, if they do eventually trade him, will change some things. Atlanta's been disappointing so far. I think that's one that people expect more out of after making the conference finals. The Knicks are off to a good start. We'll see. I thought they were kind of a play-in game as well. That they would be 7 through 10, I think, are all the play-in teams. And now I'm more confident in them kind of being like 5-6 seed, and maybe even higher.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, as long as they avoid the play-in, I'm fine with it. I just don't want to have to go through that.
Yeah, I completely get that. They do look good. Good luck with Billy Donovan coaching in the playoffs, though. I will say that.
Be fine. It'd be nice just to get there. It's been a few years.
Fair. Very fair. AEW Dynamite is tonight, so Wednesdays typically Joseph will be here, and we will talk a lot about AEW as a preview show, and we're just kind of zooming through things because I don't want to keep O'Neill too long. And what as Sean just said on Twitter, the replacement wasn't scheduled. I mean, I'll tell you guys who the replacement is if you pay me, and just PayPal it directly to me. at jeremylambert88@gmail.com. Just PayPal me a bunch of money, and I'll give the replacement right here on the air. Do you know who it is, O'Neill? Who's your guess?
If I had to guess, it's probably Miro, right?
I cannot confirm or deny anything because I don't want to give it away. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Tony Khan says it is a logical replacement. So there you go. I think people will all the money that you have, JJ, all the money that you have, and I will tell you who the replacement is. I'm sure people will be happy. Reese has nailed it. Jonathan Gresham. That's who it is. Jonathan Gresham against Orange Cassidy. You got it right there. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
Punk has made the tease. It'll be good. People will be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, Punk tweeting that kind of made me think that it wasn't him. Also, like, I just
He's
don't
got
know.
the thing with Eddie.
Yeah, that too, and just like doing Punk Danielson with just like, week and a half of build or whatever. You can, it'll be fine, but like, you don't really need to.
Who says Punk's gonna win though? Like Eddie can cost them.
Oh, that's fair.
And you do Orange and Danielson.
I was thinking about that too. Like an Orange and Danielson match would be weird, but also it'd be good. Like just because they're both very good, it would just be like the styles would be interesting.
Yeah, it's actually the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. He's gonna show up. Could you imagine? My God. Lights go down. The Fiend is there. It'd be tremendous. I'd pop so much if it was the Fiend. The big news is obviously Moxley being out and not participating in the tournament. But also big news, Kalisto is coming to AEW. Kalisto teaming with Aerostar against FTR, which is, Kalisto in WWE, he had some good matches. Obviously, by the end, people just like forgot about him because they didn't know how to use him. Yeah. The ladder spot will always be a highlight that they'll never replay again. But Kalisto and Aerostar, I love these contrasting styles with FTR because obviously they are not the high-flying guys. They're just going to punch you in the face. Kalisto and Aerostar are going to fly off of everything they can, probably do some dumb shit. Bless them. I'm looking forward to this match. This is now my most anticipated match on the show, and like it was just added a few hours ago.
Yeah, I think it's mine too. Like, I was intrigued by because they tweeted earlier today, like FTR Open, Lucha Challenge or whatever. I'm like, okay, I wonder who that's going to be. And then, I've always liked Kalisto. Going to have a really good match. I'm looking forward to it. FTR has been doing great stuff lately. It's going to be good. Just let them go do their thing for 10 or 12 minutes, and you got a really good one there.
I think we get longer than 12 minutes, honestly. I think it's going to be because I don't know how long the Orange Cassidy match is going to be as a late replacement. Cody and Andrade, I think like they'll get some time, but this it's like a bigger piece of the story. So I don't know if that's going to be a super long match.
Yeah.
Omega and Allen Angels, that could go one of two ways, really. Because, which side were you on? You were definitely on the side of why is Kenny, at that time, you were definitely on the side of why is Kenny Omega working a 12-minute match with this guy no one's ever heard of?
Yeah. No, absolutely. But, in hindsight, it makes sense because, look at where they're at now.
I understood that argument. I totally got it. I think Joseph and I had the discussion at the time of like the AEW fans know Kenny Omega is like a big deal, and like they're in a pandemic. It's a pandemic era right now. Like it's tough to create stars with no fans in the building. The AEW fans just want to see Kenny Omega like do his shit in a 10-minute match. And they're like, I don't want to see this guy squash. I know this guy's a star. It's fine. Just like give me a fun Kenny Omega match, and that's why I don't think the fan base understood where it was coming from. Of course, the argument was, well, the casual fan, why is he going 12 minutes with this nobody who's presented as a nobody and everything? I got that. I think AEW, and we've learned this throughout, especially the last year, of they're going to appeal to their fans. And by appealing to their fans, they will create new fans because everything just becomes hot. And now that crowds are back, everything is hot. They're going to appeal to their hardcore fan base. And by doing that, they will capture casual fans, because the casual fans will just see like, oh man, like everything they do just gets a huge reaction. I should watch this and see what this is all about.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And the other thing is, like, Omega doesn't have too many singles matches on TV these days, so it's like even just that is a big thing. Like, I think this is his first singles match since Danielson, right?
I would assume so. I mean, the Danielson match wasn't that long ago, so
yeah, that's true. But and then before that, like, maybe the Jungle Boy match was the last one before that. Like, it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, the Jungle Boy match definitely makes sense. Let's see how many singles matches Kenny Omega has wrestled on television this year. So he had the Danielson match. He had the Rampage match against Christian, the Jungle Boy, and then he was Seidel.
Oh, yeah.
And Phoenix. That's it. That's it as far as singles matches on AEW television. So he does almost one per month.
Okay, that's
still fair. Still not a ton. I mean, like, especially if you're going to compare it to other companies where the champion wrestles every single week on television.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like it. And I think it is a good opportunity to elevate Ellen Angels a little more too. Like, it's different circumstances than the first one, where if this one does go 10 minutes or whatever, it makes sense.
And we got the AEW TBS Women's Championship Tournament. Anna Jay against Jamie Hayter. Who are you picking for this one, O'Neill?
I know with Anna. I like both of them a lot. But I think Anna's, she should make it out of the first round of this. She's definitely one of their brightest stars going forward. And I think Jamie Hayter's going to be fine. She's in her group for now, and keep that going for as long as you want to. But yeah, I'm going to go with Anna Jay.
I think the problem with going with Anna Jay in this match is the winner faces Thunder Rosa, right? Pretty sure the winner gets Thunder Rosa, and Jamie Hayter against Thunder Rosa just makes more sense in the second round. You can do Anna Jay and Thunder Rosa, like there's nothing wrong with it. It feels like they're gonna do Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa.
I didn't really look at the bracket, so when you put it that way. I mean,
O'Neill, I thought you were a professional. What do you mean you haven't looked at the bracket?
No, I haven't seen the bracket, man, because they came out. When did this tournament start? When I was sick and I didn't do any shows that week, and I didn't watch Rampage or Dynamite. So yeah, no. When you put it that way, though, yes, I think Jamie Hayter probably does make more sense.
I think I could see because Britt's still, Britt's going to face Ty Conti at the pay-per-view. This is obviously sort of playing off of that. I could see some tactics by Britt and Rebel in this one. I could also, now that I think about it, like the AEW doesn't care as much about the heel face divide, especially in these tournaments. As I mean, they're doing Statlander and Ruby Soho on the opposite side of the bracket, so they clearly don't care as much about the heel face divide. I could see, because they're teasing a little bit Jamie Hayter, and I think it's too early for this considering they just got together in August. They're teasing a little bit that Jamie Hayter is not fully aligned with Britt and Rebel. I could see interference possibly backfiring. I'm obviously big fan of Britt Baker. Glad she's the champion. This reign where she needs help in every match. I mean, apologies, everybody. That Abaddon match, like the match was fine. The ending was absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Her needing help in this stuff, at some point it's gotta play and it's gotta backfire. And I don't think they're gonna put the title on Ty Conti at the pay-per-view. So it backfiring here and then kind of playing into the pay-per-view of Jamie Hayter being upset that it backfired and that like Rebel kind of cost her this tournament spot. That could be a storyline going into the pay-per-view as Britt faces Ty Conti. So there's directions here of where they could go. In the end, I do think Jamie Hayter wins.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. We can go with that. Sure.
Jack Neville says, as long as you don't have two heels, it's fine. As long as there is someone to root for, it's fine. Yeah, and that's, the opposite end of the bracket has Ruby and Statlander, who's two baby faces, and then this one, if Anna Jay does win, it'd be Anna and Anna and Thunder Rosa, which is two baby faces. My throat is fucking killing me, O'Neill. I apologize for cutting this short, everybody. I've been under the weather today, and the more I talk, the more my throat is just sore. I do want to hit on one other thing. It wasn't announced by Bleacher Report. It was reported by PW Insider that O'Reilly's deal is up in December. He's going to AEW, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. We talked about this yesterday, right? With Steven Jensen for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where, he's just not a fit there. And it is what it is, man. He had a good run. Like, if you're not going to put him on the main roster, though, and he's not going to be a fit, in NXT anymore, I think you could put him on the main roster, but, that either hasn't come up yet or might come up if they're doing a renegotiation. But if you're trying to force a fit where there's not, it's better for both sides, I think, if he just goes where there is more of a fit, and that would be, AEW.
Kyle O'Reilly on the main roster, I don't know how that's working. I
think somewhere in the mid card, but
he'd be Finn Balor light, honestly. Yeah. And Finn in NXT, it's one of my favorite runs this year. Finn on the main roster, And if you're just gonna do Finn Balor light, because at least Balor has I'm not saying O'Reilly doesn't have a presence about him. He doesn't have a presence about him like the way Finn Balor does. O'Reilly is just a very, very good professional wrestler. The charisma a little bit lacking, especially as a singles guy, even though I do think they should have kind of gone with him in NXT as the singles guy. I don't think it's going to work. It would work out well for him on the main roster. He's definitely a guy that Vince, unless they do the cool Kyle thing, Vince would probably love that shit. But we saw how long that lasted in NXT. I just don't think Vince is going to get just good professional wrestler Kyle O'Reilly. And then in NXT, he's just teaming with Von Wagner. They're losing. It ain't a fit with this NXT 2.0 stuff. I would imagine all his friends are in AEW. Cole's over there. He these guys ain't dumb. He sees what Cole's doing. He sees what Fish is doing. He knows what he could possibly do. He knows what he could possibly do over there, and the storylines they could do with Cole and Undisputed Era reunion. He ain't dumb. I would be shocked if he resigned.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, it is what it is. That's the nice thing about having, multiple places to go now, where if you're not a fit at one, you go be a fit at the other one.
Yeah, I think O'Reilly's definitely headed over there. They're going to be able to do some good shit with O'Reilly there and Steen possibly coming in.
Yeah. I
know Gargano's deal is expiring in December as well, according to Sean. Gargano, I at this point, I feel like everybody's going to AEW. But Gargano, I'm a little less sure on because at least he clearly does have a role in NXT still. And he's he's well liked by those guys and he likes those guys. But I mean, Cole, we kind of thought Cole the same thing of he's got his place there. And then the main roster stuff was what it was. And they apparently wanted to change stuff and he wasn't happy with that. People see what's happening in AEW and they're like, yeah, let me get in on that. So Gargano, I'm less sure on, even though my gut tells me he jumps as well. O'Reilly, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked.
Yeah. And I mean, this is kind of the byproduct of the last, 4 or 5 years not having that cohesion between developmental and the main roster because, NXT was somewhere in the middle of developmental and not developmental. So, guys just couldn't translate.
I said it, I think, on the show yesterday. I would have had Undisputed Era come up night after WrestleMania one year, jump whoever the champion was, and immediately establish them right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And They didn't do it. They stayed there. It got long in the tooth. The way they handled that split sucked, and now we see where these guys are at. It is crazy to think that to start the year, Undisputed Era, still the hottest act in NXT, still the most over act in NXT, and now to end the year, two guys are gone. The third guy might be gone, and Roderick Strong is with Diamond Mine. I mean, bless Roddy Strong, he's doing good shit, but that's where he is. Like, and the payoff to everything, not good either.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how fast everything's moving these days too, right? Like, just it's wild, man. And it's cool to see too. Like, we haven't had anything like this in a long time.
That's great. I love it. JJ's pitching for, I guess, everyone to go to Impact, because JJ's always pitching for everyone to go to Impact. Okay, O'Neill. Anything else you definitely want to hit before we wrap up?
No, I'm excited to find out. I'm probably going to get one more match at Rampage. They've announced 2 of them already, so I'm interested in seeing what the third one's going to be, because I'm going to be there this week.
We were all supposed to be there this week.
That is correct.
We were supposed to go to the zoo as a family on, I think, Saturday is when it was planned for.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a fun week, O'Neill, and then Tony Khan got scared of Canelo and UFC and decided he's going to move the show, and just completely ruined our distraction meetup.
I mean, I'm still off tomorrow and Friday, so I'm cool with it. But,
I'm glad you're only thinking of yourself, and, you're still off, instead of being sad that you're not going to get to hang out with me, Shoot, and Joseph at the zoo and whoever else was coming. Just look at this selfish asshole, Robert O'Neill.
It is a bummer. I was very excited about it. You all just have to come for the Royal Rumble now.
I do want to come for the Royal Rumble. That's a pay-per-view that I've been to SummerSlam, I've been to Mania. I like Survivor Series, especially at this point, is like whatever. Yeah. Rumble's Rumble.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah. So I do want to try to make it. And it's last year didn't have fans and everything, so you'd imagine they would go pretty big for this one. I do want to try to make Royal Rumble. So I'll let you know on that. I am hanging out with Shoot this Saturday, though. We're going to a hockey game together. Very
Hell
excited.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Very excited. All right, O'Neill, let people know where they can follow you on Twitter, which they should not do.
Yeah, you follow me on Twitter at Robert O'Neill 31. Be tweeting about the Bulls and 76ers and AEW Dynamite tonight.
There you go. Everyone, don't follow Robert O'Neill. Guys, thank you. We will be so this will probably be the last stream on the channel until potentially this weekend or Monday. Joseph should be back on Monday. I apologize for the brevity of the stream. Usually our Monday shows last much longer, but my throat is killing me. I'm about to take a bunch of cold medicine. I don't even know if I'm going to make it through Dynamite tonight, but I will catch up tomorrow. The Distraction Evolution with Kate Hensler and Hannah Share Delaware will be hosting. We got some fun surprises for that. It'll be a good show tomorrow. No male presence. I will not be on the show. O'Neill is not on the show. We have both been suspended from the show. Joseph is still on vacation, but it'll be a good show. That's tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern on the main channel, youtube.com/Fightful. Tio, no post show tomorrow because WWE financials are at 5:00. And so we just don't have time to do a post show. And I don't want to, one, I have to cover financials. Two, the financial stream will be on the main channel. And so I don't want to run anything on this channel while that's running on the main channel. And again, I have to cover financials. And Hannah is under the weather as well. So I'm not going to make her do a post show on top of the main show. So everyone's just sick around here. O'Neill got everyone sick. Just, my God.
Yeah, well, the temperature dropped like 25 degrees in a week. So I think everyone's just feeling it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's like this temperature change is just fucking with everybody. The furnace stopped working at the EP's house this morning. So waking up and it's like 60 degrees in the house.
Yeah,
not
that's
a fan
rough,
of
man.
that at all. Not a fan of that at all. So yeah, no post show tomorrow, but the Distraction will be on Thursday. Distraction Evolution. Friday we will be on Twitch at 5:00. Still playing Detroit Become Human. No sports stream on Saturday because I will be at the sports game, and then maybe I'll do something on Twitch on Sunday. My interview with Michael Kingston of Headlocked Comics, that will premiere on the channel on Sunday afternoon. So that'll be, so you will get some content there on Sunday. And then we'll be back. Joseph should be back on Monday. We'll get back on our schedule. Go to latenightgrid.com, sign up. It's shoot week over there. They will be doing, I assume, the late night grid on Friday night, and should be a good time. Next week, I will probably make an appearance on the show to discuss my date with Shoot. We'll recap that on next week's Late Night Grim. O'Neill, appreciate it, buddy. Guys, thanks for joining us, hanging out. Enjoy Dynamite tonight. Again, apologies for the brevity of the stream, but hopefully everyone understands. We'll talk to y'all later on.